Senator Shaheen, member of the Appropriations Committee, and now Senator Duckworth, who's the sponsor of our IVF bill.
Thank you, Leader Schumer. In a few minutes, we're going to have this vote yet again to create a statutory right for Americans to access reproductive technologies. This is a chance for my colleagues across the aisle to put their vote where their mouths have been. They say they support IVF. Here you go. Vote on this. It's very simple. This bill simply says that if you want to access assistive reproductive technology, including IVF, you will have a right to do so. If you are a healthcare provider that wants to offer this technology, you have a right to do so. And if you are an insurance company that wants to cover it, you have the right to cover it. It also has a provision which I think is incredibly important, which is allowing our military men and women access to IVF. And in particular, it allows our military men and women prior to a deployment into a combat zone to preserve and freeze their genetic material so that should they come home with injuries that result in them becoming infertile, they will have already preserved the genetic material so that they can themselves start those beautiful families that they wanted after protecting our families for the rest of us. I think it is simple. I think that Donald Trump has the ability right now to let my Republican colleagues know it's time to vote to support this bill. After all, with a single tweet, he was able to kill the border security bill. He can send out a tweet right now and get all my Republican colleagues to vote for this. And for all of my Republican colleagues who claim to support IVF, here you go, vote on this. It is very simple. Americans want access to reproductive technologies. They should have the right to access it. And frankly, I don't want a convicted felon who has been accused of inappropriate behavior with women to be the guy to decide what to do with my life and to do with my body. Look, I went to war to defend this nation's rights and freedoms, and I did it because I deeply believe in the importance of the mission of defending America's rights and freedoms. I'm not asking Republicans to head into combat. All I'm saying is just vote on this. Simply support this bill that represents millions of women's only chance at starting families. Because no matter what you say about your support for IVF, unless you vote for this bill, you are going to allow all of the state by state by state by state pieces of legislation that block the ability to access IVF simply by defining a fertilized egg as a human being, which then prevents IVF from being carried out to continue to affect women's ability to start families. So my Republican colleagues, let's go to the floor. Let's vote.
Thank you, Tammy.